Okay, YouTube. This is just another update. As you can see, I've already installed the two new Solar World panels that I mentioned earlier in an earlier video, and just kind of take a look at the back of it. I had to modify the structure to make to fit the other panels, and so far it looks pretty good. It is stable and it is sturdy, and essentially we have two 280 watts solar world panels in connection with two Renogy 250s. Okay, and there are my other 8 Renogy 250s. And okay, all right. Well, that's just an update. Take care, YouTube. Hello again, YouTube, and I'm back with another update. Just letting you know, I've included another charge controller into my overall system. As you can see, this is a Midnight Classic 250. Currently, I have 4 panels connected to it. I have the two Solar World panels and 2 Renogy 250s connected to it. And I'm going to install 2 more panels as well for a total of 6. That'll bring my voltage up to just under, maybe it's around 222 volts, 230 or something like that. But it will be under the 250. And the idea was to increase my charging capability so that I can charge both banks at one time as a single bank. The reason I went with the Midnight Classic as opposed to buying another one of these Morning Stars is it's mainly cost. That was it, just cost. This one is a lot cheaper than this one here. Now this one is expensive because it actually goes up to it says 600, but in actuality they don't even want you to get close to 600 volts. They want you to they don't want you to get over 525 volts. To be honest, I mean, looking at the manual, I found out that more is not always better in this case with connecting to this particular charge controller. If you had a 48 volt system and you had about, the voltage was up there in the realm of, 300 volts or whatever, I mean, that's great. But even with a 24 volt, even with a 48 volt system, they do not, and I repeat, they do not want you to get over 525 volts. As a matter of fact, in the manual itself, it will say in the very back on page 75, I believe, there's a graphic or an illustration that actually tells you that when this charge controller gets up to 425 input volts from the array, it will actually cut the power, the amperage going to the battery bank at least by half. Meaning, as opposed to you getting 60 amps going to the battery bank, you'll get about around maybe between 32 and 34 amps. It will cut it in half. I guess it's a safety measure or something like that. And I say that because I found I found that out the hard way. Here it is. You get a sunny day, a cold, clear, sunny day. And anybody that's has been doing solar for a while knows that solar panels love clear, cold days. They just love it, clear, cold days. And the voltage on my panels got well up in the 450 volt range, 440, 450. And that's close to that's close to the 525 volts maximum. And it's well over the 425. And I was like wondering, why is how come I'm not getting a whole bunch of amperage? I thought I, messed up my controller. I called up tech support, and the guy, kind of mentioned about, the pictures, the graphic in the manuals, and hey, if it gets over like 425, it actually cuts the amperage. And so I didn't know that. And so after that, I'm like, well, that just, that just lets me know I need to take some panels off of the array. So as opposed to 12 panels on the array, I now have 8 panels on 8 panels in an array connected up to this particular charge controller. So I needed to get another charge controller. Even though, yeah, you can get up to, you can put it up to, enough panels to come up to like 525 volts, but it's not necessarily good for this particular charge controller. At 425, regardless of whether it is a 24 volt system or a 48 volt system, you're still limited by up to 425 volts before it cuts down the power. So it's almost like this is like a system that, purposely implements or something called high impedance. That's where you have high voltage and very low amperage. It's high impedance. And, the system itself, it's not the panels, it's the system, the load on the end, this thing, that actually steps it down for whatever reason. So, so that's why I went with this one here. I mean, I got a Midnight Classic, so it was easy to program, easy to set up. I've got it installed, it's connected up to my little router there. Both charge controllers are connected up, and they're connected into my network, so I can, view. I've downloaded the software. I also have the Whiz-Bang Junior installed, and so it gives me the accurate reading. I got it installed in conjunction with, or in cooperation with, the Trimetric. So I got this right here as just looking at it as I stand here, and I got this so I can look at it over using that application, and that you can download from Midnight Solar. So everything is it's working well. Everything is good to go. My battery bank, both banks are working in conjunction with each other. The cells that are in parallel are still functioning as I expect. They function as one cell connected to another parallel, another couple of cells in parallel that act as one cell as well. There is no issue. These are nickel cadmium batteries. These are nickel iron batteries, and they're doing all right. And as a single bank, I will use them as a single bank, and I will charge them as a single bank with both charge controllers. Okay, and enough solar, I should be able to accomplish that. Right now, I actually have connected. I have 3,060 watts of solar connected, and I have 400 watts of solar panels that I still need to install. In actuality, I have actually more than that. I got maybe 670 watts of solar panels that I have not tied into the system. So, but anyway, YouTube, so everything is doing well. And the Whiz-Bang Junior, it was easy to install. It came with the instructions. The Classic is not a bad controller. I have no issues with it, except that I don't like the idea of it having have to deal with fans and stuff. But hey, fans are in here and fans are in there, so big deal. It works out fine. Okay, all right. Take care, YouTube.